Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to yet another Toddy Walnuts. This is going to be kind of a giving you guys the heads up on a deal type video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about these three films that are in front of you. Before I get into any of the synopsis of the films, I just want to tell you a little bit about the deal, and I'm going to leave a link down below so you guys can go and check that out. These are three films that were produced and directed, and the musical score was also composed by Stevan Mena. And the three films are Malevolence, Malevolence 2 Bereavement, and Malevolence 3 Killer. You can buy these directly from Mr. Mena on his website. You can see he signed them in gold Sharpie. And they all come with slipcovers. Pulled them off just to make the video a little bit quicker. Now, I've seen the first two, and I own them on different copies. Here I have the Anchor Bay DVD of Malevolence, and I have the Anchor Bay Blu-ray of Bereavement, and I have seen both of those films before. They're very good films. I'll talk a little bit about those in a minute. I have not watched Malevolence 3 yet, which I'm going to pop that in tonight so I can finish the trilogy. These are very brutal and gory slasher movies. The first one, Malevolence, I'll talk a little bit about it. I try not to give too many details away when I'm talking about movies because I feel that you might enjoy it more going into it blind or just with a little bit of info rather than to hear some of the things that are happening in the movie, and that might distract you for, seeing ahead in the movie and not paying attention. That's just the way I feel when I'm watching movies. So the first one, there was a couple similarities to me in The Killer. First of all, he was very brutal. I'm not sure if the director was going for this, but I noticed he's wearing kind of like a flour sack or some kind of a grain sack over his head, like Sackhead Jason in Part 2. The only holes he had in the mask were little slits for the eyes, and it looked pretty cool, I'll be honest about that. It was pretty sweet. He had a bloody apron, which kind of resembled Leatherface to me. And maybe I'm thinking too hard about this, but it kind of jumped out at me. And then his favorite weapon of choice was a big butcher knife, the big, I don't know, what is that, 7-8 inch knife, the kind that Michael Myers used to use. And he kind of moved around kind of smooth like Michael Myers, how he kind of blended into the darkness. And in the first movie, there was kind of two stories going on at the same time. And maybe about 20 to 30 minutes into the movie, both of the stories collide, and it continues on into one story from there on out. I don't want to really give too many more details about that. I will say, though, that there is a lot of violence against children, which was pretty shocking to me. And right away, 2 minutes into the movie, something very unusual happens, at least in the movies I watch. I wasn't really prepared for what happened 2 minutes into the movie. And I have a feeling a lot of people at that point would have turned it off. But I didn't, and I know you won't, because we're not like normal people. We love these horror movies, and it was just a very brutal. I mean, when he kills somebody, it's almost overkill. Instead of, a couple of slashes or hacks, he gets in there 8 or 10, 12 times with his knife, and you can hear like the bones crunch and kind of the wet splash, and you can hear the schling of the blade as it's being penetrated and pulled out. And it's very gory. There's a lot of blood. It's a splatter film. And there's a lot of violence against children, like I said, which is very unusual for me. And I thought the ending was excellent. I'm not going to give it away, but there is a journal that they find at the end, and one of the detectives is reading it to another detective, and you hear some secrets about what you kind of witnessed earlier in the movie, and it kind of brings everything together really nice. It was well worth the watch. I really enjoyed Malevolence. The movie was filmed on about a $200,000 budget, which was pretty shoestring, even for, I think it was 2004 this came out, something like that. Yeah, 2004 this one came out. And it didn't do very well universally, and it barely made its money back from what I understand. But for some reason, they came out with part 2, which was made in 2011. And it stars the lovely Alexandra Daddario. You guys may remember her from Texas Chainsaw 3D from 2013. And she is the eye candy in this movie. She runs around in that white tank top, and there's a couple scenes where it looked like the set was pretty chilly. If you guys catch my drift, wink wink. She was quite cold in a couple scenes, and it was pretty cool to watch. And this movie had a $3.6 million budget, I believe, and it tanked. It barely made any money back. But I still enjoyed this movie. It's about 2 hours long, or I think like maybe an hour and 50 minutes it was, something like that. Again, it was very gory. The story was pretty good. The characters were pretty good in this one. Michael Biehn was in this one also. And there's a couple characters where you actually feel for them. Like you kind of, you hope that they make it through. And there's a couple scenes where something shocking happens and you kind of feel bad. I'm not going to get into why or how it happens, but from the beginning of the movie to the end, I thought it was very well done. I would pay $24 a piece for these movies, and you can get all 3 of them for $24. I'm not getting anything out of this. I just want to share this with you guys so you can enjoy this. Spend some of your stimulus money. You can stimulate Mr. Mena's bank account and stimulate your viewing pleasures by watching these. And I still have yet to watch part 3. Like I said, I'm going to get into that tonight. But I just wanted to drop in and let you guys know about this. Everything was great. The atmosphere was good. The kills were brutal. Some of the kills were shocking. You didn't see it coming. And some of the characters you thought that were going to make it through, maybe they don't. I'm not gonna get into that. But all in all, I would probably give the first one about a 7. I would give the second one about a 6.5, and I have not yet seen part 3, so I can't judge that one yet. But take a look at the link down below. If you guys do plan on picking this up, comment, let me know, and it's hopefully I can help you guys out by picking up some cool stuff for your collection too. If you've seen any of these movies, let me know what you thought about them down below, but please, no spoilers. Even though I have seen these two, other people read the comments section too, and I don't want them to get spoiled, and I have not watched this one. So, all right guys, that was it. I will catch you later, and take care.